Measuring segments. Example 1. Find the distance between the segment AB and the segment AC. So for this example, we're just going to find the length between from here to here. And then we're also going to look from, say here, from A all the way to C. So let's go ahead and solve for our segment AB first. So AB. So first thing we also notice is we don't actually have numbers underneath the points, which we can just fill in. So if we notice right here, from 2, 4 to 6, that we're doing in increments of 2. So we're going up every time a new line segment, new line, right? We go up 2. So if we were to look at A, if we're going up 2, so negative 8, plus 2, so we're becoming less negative, it'll be negative 6. Then we can keep it going. We have negative 2. If we add 2, negative 2 plus 2, or 2 minus 2, right, if we rearrange in our heads, that will just be 0. Then we go 2, 4, 6, and then 8. So now we have our line complete with all the numbers. Now we can look at A. So if we're going from A, which is negative 6, all the way to B, to go from negative 6 to 0, we're going up 6 units, right? That's how we can say it's like 6. Another way to look at that would be if you go up 2 for each line, right? If this is another 2 and this is another 2. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 is equal to 6. And we can just say units. Now, if we're looking at the segment AC, well, one thing we can look at it is we can go ahead and add AB plus the segment BC, right? This would also be a segment BC. So if we just add up these two segments, so the first segment, and then say this is our second segment right here, if we were to add up both of those, that would be equal to the segment AC. So we do know what AB is because we know it's 6 units because we already solved for it. So all we need to do is solve for BC. So the first thing we can do is go ahead and substitute AB for 6 in order to solve for AC. So we have AC is equal to, we'll go 6 units plus BC, and we don't know what that is. So BC, like the segment. So if we're starting at 0 and we're ending at 8, that means we have to go up 8 units, right? To go from 0 to 8, it's 8. Or another way we can look at it, right, is if we just go up 2 to 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 is equal to 8 units. So now we can go ahead and substitute that into the equation, and what do we get? Well, we get our segment AC, which is 6 units plus 8 units. So that's equal to 14 units. And that would be the answer. Example 2. You're redoing the backyard by placing new topsoil throughout the yard and then planting grass and putting bark in the flower beds. So below is a rough sketch. The smaller part, the inner square, is the grass area, and the remaining part are the flower beds. So the segments AB, right here, is going to be 1x plus 2. So that's some kind of distance as we know it. Then we have BC, and that's x plus 22. So that's this segment here. And then we have segment CD, which is 4x plus 20, which is right there. And then we know the segment AD, so the full length of this whole thing, is 92 feet long. So what's the value of x? So we're trying to solve for x. So we see x in here, x here, and x here. So it represents a number that we need to solve for. So let's go ahead and break this down a little bit. So if we know, right, AB, so what do we know? AB is equal to 1x plus 2 BC is equal to, we could just put a 1 in front of it, because anytime you see just a regular X or any other kind of letter, we know that we can just add a number 1 in front of it because it's just understood. Now we have 1x plus 22. And then we have CD, which is 4x plus 20. And then what else do we know? We know AAD is just equal to 92. So now we can go ahead and set up a problem here. So what do we know? Well, we know AD is equal to AB plus BC plus CD. Right, all we did was we took this whole segment here, which is AD, and broke it into 3 segments. So AB, BC, and CD. So the full length is equal to the 3 segments. And then what we can do is go ahead and substitute all these into this. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to go AD, which is now 92. So all we're just going to do is put 92 right there. That's it. Now we look at AB. Well, we're going to put this whole thing for AB. So AB, I'll just show like the color there. So we have 1x plus 2, then plus, and we have BC. Well, BC is actually 1x plus 22. So we'll just put this in parentheses to make it easier to kind of see. And then we have CD, which is going to be 4x plus 20. So let's now see what the next step would be. Well, we notice on the right-hand side, we have x's here, here, and here. So we can go ahead and add those together to make it a little bit simpler to see. Then the other thing we can do is we can add these numbers on the right-hand side of the equal sign, because those could be added together. Now, so let's go ahead and do that. So let's go 92 is equal to, well, we're going to add up the x's. So we have 1x plus 4x. Well, we just add up the coefficients because x stays the same. So we have 1x plus 1. So that's 2 plus 4 is 6. So we just have 6x. And that's it for the x's. And then now we need to add the numbers. So we have 2 plus 22. So that's 24 plus 20, which would be 44. So now we have this 92 is equal to 6x plus 44. So the first thing we can do is get rid of this number here on the right-hand side and put it on the left-hand side. So how do we get rid of it? Well, we want to make it actually 0. So in order to make it 0, we need to go ahead and subtract 44 on both sides. And we do it to both sides because it actually makes the equal sign then equal. Because if you didn't do it on the left-hand side, right, like you just took away a lot of numbers, but you didn't do anything to the left-hand side to account for that. So you can manipulate the equations like this. So you can go 44 minus 44, so this just becomes 0. And now we go 92 minus 44, and then it makes the equal sign still equal. So it doesn't change anything in this equation other than making it simpler to solve for x. So now we can do some math here. So we have 92 minus 44. Well, we need to borrow. So we need to borrow a whole 10 from the 9. So now we have 2 plus 10, so that's 12. So that's why we just put the 1 there. 12 minus 4 is equal to 8, and 8 minus 4 is 4. And now this is equal to 6x plus 0. Now the next step, right, if we have 48 is equal to 6x, we just need to go ahead and divide by 6 on both sides. Now we do that because, right, when you do multiplication, to undo multiplication, we do division. So 6 divided by 6, then it's just 1. And then we have 48 divided by 6, and that is equal to 8. So what do we get? Well, we get x is equal to 8, and that's actually our answer for this problem. And then we're going to carry on this problem to example 3. So if we know in the example above right, the x is 8, we're going to give the lengths for each segment. So let's go back. So if we have AB, which is equal to 1x plus 2, we have BC, which is equal to 1x plus 22, and we have CD, which is equal to 4x plus 20. And we know x is equal to 8. Right? This is what we solved for, so now we know this. So all we need to do is actually go ahead and plug x is equal to 8 into every time we see an x. So let's go ahead and do that. So what does this become? So 1x plus 2. Well, 1, then put in parentheses 8 plus 2. And then we have another 1 times 8 plus 22. And then we have 4 times 8 plus 20. So notice, right, this is right next to each other, the 8. When you put in parentheses, right, like 1 times is x. That's really what we're asking. Like, whatever this number is, we're multiplying it by 1, right? That's what we're doing here. So we have 8 as our x, so now we have 1 times 8. So that's 8 plus 2. We can just show like this. 8 plus 2, which is equal to 10. So the segment AB is equal to 10 feet. Let's do the next one. So 1 times 8 is 8 plus 22. So that would be equal to 30. And that would be our segment BC. Now we have 4 times 8. So that's 32. And then we're going to go ahead and add 20. So 32 plus 20. So that would be 52. And that is equal to CD. And this is all in feet, right? So now, what if we're not sure if we did this right? Well, actually, there's a really easy way to do it, right? All we need to do is see if all these numbers add up to 92, because in example 2, we're told AD is equal to 92. So let's see if this checks out. So 10 plus 30 plus 52. Well, 10 plus 30, right? That's 40. Then if we add 52, that's kind of how I do it. Is I just kind of make it simpler, and then I'm just make sure I bring down all the other numbers. So 10 plus 30 is 40, plus 52, so 92 equals 92. This works. That means our answer is correct. So we did it right.